the other piece that sometimes it's kind of I'm trying to remember now our conversation about you have a small group of friends I think you had talked about, and being able to tell them what's going on or if they have questions. Sometimes it's hard to be the one to have to answer those questions.
He told me one day, he says, "Have you seen my body? It's not working, Mama. It's not working. It's not cooperating with me."
One of the things that Dr. Berger will have in place with the nurses is medication right here at home. And the goal of that medication would be to help you feel less anxious, to help you feel less scared.
I think people are scared to meet us, and it's so important to let them know that we care about more things than just death and dying. Our team is more about living in life and making life good than it is just about death.
The primary care teams are looking at ways of extending life, prolonging life, finding cures. We are really, working with families, working with other teams to try to promote quality of life.
We're not a one-size-fits-all team. We're instead a team that comes in, talks to a family about what are you hoping for, what are you worried about, and then we try to translate that into actions that we can take to take a really hard, terrible, stressful, horrible situation for a family and find something that we can do to make it a little bit better. Whether that be helping control a patient's symptoms, whether that be supporting siblings, whether that be helping parents communicate with their child.
You can say what you want.
No, that's
it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I was going to remember.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So it's a very good question, and it's one that if you hadn't brought up today, we would have said one thing.
When a patient is admitted to the hospital, I may never have met them before, but we can contact the PACT team who's known them for months and years. The PACT team can take a step back and really look at the big picture and provide a lot of insight and guidance that I think families really appreciate.
I thought we could take this time to talk about Holden. We're getting ready to get them back home. We're trying our best to figure out how best we can make that happen.
Well, we do have Dr. Sherry Bergeron who has spent some time with us and see what support she could potentially offer to Holden and his family. Might be a good fit.
So much of what we do could be perceived, like if you break it down, as these really little things, but to families it makes such a big difference.
We had one girl who had forgotten it was her dad's birthday, and we knew that that was going to be their last birthday together, and when we saw her she was just devastated. And we ran and we got her a cake, and then that night the nurses held a surprise birthday for her, and she died a week later.
Why should a young person have to wait till their final days to address the things that are most important to them, to get the support that they need, to look at doing fun activities and things that are meaningful? Why can't we be doing this from day one? And that's what we're really starting to do. We're trying to integrate the principles of palliative care right from day one into the lives of these children.
Yeah, Mom, I can do it. So he was always game for these things, and he said, "This is something I won't be able to do," he said. This was on my bucket list, he says.
I always wanted to go skydiving, do a CN Tower, walk on the rim.
Oh, yeah.
And wingsuit flying.
So we can explore those things for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is the grief support cart. This really allows the family to engage with the clinician in creating the story of their child, to make molds, to make prints, to have a camera available to them that they can take pictures with.
So that we're helping them to create memories so that they do have these concrete pieces to bring home with them in terms of memories and helping to capture who their child was.
They arranged for photographers to take pictures of her, and we did hand molds and foot molds, and we did a lot of things that now we have memories of Ava. She suffered an incredible amount of seizures. She had a lot of damage from labor to her brain. We just sat down and talked about goals, things that we wanted for Ava. We wouldn't even know how to make those decisions for Ava without the support of PACT. We wouldn't have known the first thing about giving her the best quality of life. A lot of times with Ava, there was no hope. So there was no hope. Nothing was gonna ever change with her condition. We could only keep her happy and comfortable. That was the most important thing to us, and that was the most important thing to them, and we just felt like they were on our side all the time.
I find that a lot of families actually start to gloss over the details, but it just becomes easier. It's a hard thing to really explain.
Exactly, and I mean, we wanted everyone to see Ava for what she was, and she was beautiful, smiley, happy little girl, and they told us she would never smile. We did everything we could with her, took her everywhere we could.
You sure did.
When the good times were good, they were really good. You know, we had really good times with her.
Yeah.
And then the not so good times, I feel like we really needed you guys. Like, we really leaned on you guys and everybody was trying. Like, all the other doctors, they all tried everything that they could. But then we needed you guys.